to have any start time. We're going to be reading a story. But first we're going to be reading and then you're going to be doing the synopsis, and then you're going to be reading the Pilgrims of Progress. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell in this video. I'm going to do something different today. Step in one at a time, please.
Oh no, you did this before.
There's no turning back now.
Hello. I don't really know what's going on.
Just
all right.
ask.
So, I mean, at some point he has to do an intro that is like normal, so that all the crazy ones are understood to be crazy. Right? Okay. So, anyway, we're in Exodus, chapter 15. Actually, check that. Chapter 16, and we're going to read about manna from heaven. Yay! All right, so this is so exciting because you know what? This is one of the favorite things that the Israelites got to do. They enjoyed getting the blessings of God while they were in the wilderness. And so let's read about it right now in the scripture from the English Standard Version. This is Exodus chapter 16. They set out from Elim, and all the congregation of the people of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had departed from the land of Egypt. And the whole congregation of the people of Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the people of Israel said to them, "Would that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots and ate bread to the full, for you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I am about to rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them whether they will walk in my law or not. On the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring in, it will be twice as much as they gather daily." So Moses and Aaron said to all the people of Israel, "At evening you shall know that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt, and in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumbling against the Lord. For what are we that you grumble against us?" Don't shoot the messenger. And Moses said, "When the Lord gives you in the evening meat to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, because the Lord has heard your grumbling, that you grumble against him, what are we? Your grumbling is not against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses said to Aaron, "Say to the whole congregation of the people of Israel, 'Come near before the Lord, for he has heard your grumbling.'" And as soon as Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the people of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the glory of the Lord appeared in the cloud. And the Lord said to Moses, "I have heard the grumbling of the people of Israel. Say to them, at twilight you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. Then you shall know that I am the Lord your God." In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp, and in the morning dew lay around the camp. And when the dew had gone up, there was on the face of the wilderness a fine flake-like thing, fine as frost on the ground. When the people of Israel saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they did not know what it was. And Moses said to them, "It is the bread that the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord has commanded. Gather of it, each one of you, as much as he can eat. You shall each take an omer according to the number of the persons that each of you has in his tent." And the people of Israel did so. They gathered some more, some less. But when they measured it with an omer, whoever gathered much had nothing left over, and whoever gathered little had no lack. Each of them gathered as much as he could eat, and Moses said to them, "Let no one leave any of it over till the morning." But they did not listen to Moses. Some left part of it till morning, till the morning. And it bred worms and stank. And Moses was angry with them. Morning by morning they gathered it, each as much as he could eat. But when the sun grew hot, it melted. On the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers each. And when all the leaders of the congregation came and told Moses, he said to them, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Tomorrow is a day of solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake, and boil what you will boil, and all that is left over lay aside to be kept till the morning." So they laid it aside till the morning, as Moses commanded them. And it did not stink, and there were no worms in it. Moses said, "Eat it today, for today is a Sabbath to the Lord. Today you will not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is a Sabbath, there will be none." On the 7th day, some of the people went out to gather, but they found none. And the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commandment and my laws? See, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, on the 6th day, he gives you bread for 2 days. Remain each of you in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. I'd like to just point out real fast. Maybe I should finish the chapter first. Now the house of Israel called its name Manna. It was like coriander seed, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Let an omer of it be kept throughout your generations, so that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness." I'm having some reading problems today. "When I brought you out of the land of Egypt." And Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it and place it before the Lord to be kept throughout your generations." As the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron placed it before the testimony to be kept. The people of Israel ate the manna 40 years till they came to a habitable land. They ate manna till they came to the border of the land of Canaan. An omer is the 10th part of an ephah. Okay, so this is what I was going to point out. First of all, a new thing that I was going to point out. So 40 years they ate manna. Imagine that. These kids that grew up, some of them were babies at the time, some of them were born in the wilderness, right? And they had not known anything else except for eating manna. And then when they get to Jericho and they take the land of Canaan, all of a sudden they have like actual food. Imagine the culture shock that they went through when they actually got to eat food for the first time after they were 40 years old. Like, wow.
Oh
Okay. So, all right. So let's just, what was I going to pick apart?
When did the quail come in?
The quail was at night. Okay.
Every night.
Okay. So,
Yeah, they said the quail came at night.
okay. I don't know, but now I lost my train of thought.
Give the synopsis.
Okay, so now
Later in the story.
no, they said quail at the beginning.
Here, grumbling.
Okay,
In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp.
okay, this is what I was going to say. So, on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers each, and they were commanded to observe the Sabbath. Now, this came before the 10 Commandments. Sabbath, what does it say? The Lord has given you the Sabbath. This is verse 29. See, the Lord has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, on the 6th day, he gives you bread for 2 days. What did Jesus say? That man was... I have to look it up. It's in Mark.
Man's awesome.
No, that's not what Jesus says. Okay, hey, JJ, let's... Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. I have to look it up. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. The Sabbath was made for man. See, the Lord gave you the Sabbath, right? From Exodus chapter 16. The Lord gave you the Sabbath. And here I am in Mark chapter 2, verse 27. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. So it's very interesting how the Old Testament is renewed in the New Testament. Okay, so anyway, that was just a thought that I had when I was reading that passage. So, all right, we're on chapter 15, but first, the synopsis. So basically, they're going through, and Christian, there's these two lions, and so Christian says, "Ha, lions, schmions," and because the only lions that he's ever known, of course, are the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. And so he just kind of goes like, kind of thing. And the lions kind of laugh at him because, they're not the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. And then they eat him and he's dead. And that's the end of the story. Here's Kimberly to tell how it really happened.
You have got to be joking me, Dad. So, what actually happened was, he saw the lions, and he's like, maybe I am having second thoughts, I might go back. And just before he goes back, this person calls and says, hey, the lions are chained. You can go straight through. And he's like, great. So he goes right in between the lions, and,
Between the Lions? The TV show?
Oh, goodness.
Seriously?
Maybe that's where it came from.
Who knows?
All right, go. Keep going.
So, and then what happened is, he goes over and the guy says, hey, do you want to stay the night? And he's like, yeah. And so the guy, he tells him why he's here and everything. And the guy calls one of the maidservants, I think. Oh. I think she's a maidservant. And he tells her, and she says, yeah, okay, he can stay here. And so he's now staying the night, and he's meeting the rest of the family. He had dinner with them, and I'm gonna hand it off to Dad, who's going to read us a story.
Right, JJ said they asked him a ton of questions. Yes, and there are 3 in particular people who are. No turning back, no turning back. Yes. Imagine your first bite of an apple or an orange. JJ needs to stop talking. Okay, yes. Okay, so this is what? Okay, so we like to interrupt while we're reading. Okay, so 3 of the people in the family who are about to tell their story are Piety, Prudence, and Charity, and that is the title of chapter 15, which is called Piety, Prudence, and Charity. So let me get started with it. Piety. Come, good Christians, since we have been so loving to you as to receive you into our house this night, let us, if perhaps we may better ourselves thereby, talk with you of all things that have happened to you in your pilgrimage. Christian. With a very good will, and I am glad that you are so well disposed. Piety. What moved you at first to betake yourself to a pilgrim's life? Christian. I was driven out of my native country by a dreadful sound that was in mine ears, to wit, that unavoidable destruction did attend me if I abode in that place where I was. Piety. But how did it happen that you came out of your country this way? Christian. It was as God would have it, for when I was under the fears of destruction, I did not know whither to go, but by chance there came a man even to me, as I was trembling and weeping, whose name was Evangelist, and he directed me to the wicket gate, which else I should never have found, and so set me into the way that hath led me directly to this house. Piety. But did you not come by the house of the interpreter? Christian. Yes, and did see such things there, the remembrance of which will stick by me as long as I live, especially 3 things, to wit, how Christ, in despite of Satan, maintains his work of grace in the heart, how the man had sinned himself quite out of hopes of God's mercy, and also the dream of him that thought in his sleep the day of judgment was come. Piety. Why did you hear him tell his dream? Christian. Yes, and a dreadful one it was. I thought it made my heart ache as he was telling of it, but yet I am glad I heard it. Piety. Was this all you saw at the house of the interpreter? Christian. No, he took me and had me where he showed me a stately palace, and how the people were clad in gold that were in it, and how there came a venturous man, and cut his way through the armed men that stood in the door to keep him out, and how he was bid to come in and win eternal glory. Methought those things did ravish my heart. I would have stayed at that good man's house a 12-month, but that I knew I had farther to go. Piety. And what saw you else in the way? Christian. Saw? Why, I went but a little farther, and I saw one, and as I thought in my mind, hang bleeding upon a tree, and the very sight of him made my burden fall off my back, for I groaned under a very heavy burden, but then it fell down from off me. It was a strange thing to me, for I never saw such a thing before. Yea, and while I stood looking up, for then I could not forbear looking, 3 shining ones came to me. One of them testified that my sins were forgiven me. Another stripped me of my rags and gave me this broidered coat which you see. And the third set the mark which you see in my forehead and gave me this sealed roll. And with that he plucked it out of his bosom. Piety. But you saw more than this, did you not? Christian. The things that I have told you were the best, yet some other I saw, as namely I saw 3 men, simple, sloth, and presumption, lie asleep a little out of the way as I came, with irons upon their heels. But do you think I could awake them? I also saw formality and hypocrisy come tumbling over the wall, to go, as they pretended, to Zion, but they were quickly lost, even as I myself did tell them. But they would not believe. But above all, I found it hard work to get up this hill, and as hard to come by the lions' mouths. And truly, if it had not been for the good man, the porter that stands at the gate, I do not know but that after all I might have gone back again. But I thank God I am here, and I thank you for receiving me. Then Prudence thought good to ask him a few questions, and desired the answer to them. Prudence. Do you not think sometimes of the country from whence you came? Christian. Yea, but with much shame and detestation. Truly, if I had been mindful of that country from whence I came out, I might have had opportunity to have returned. But now I desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one. Prudence. Do you not yet bear away with you some of the things that then you were conversant withal? Christian. Yes, but greatly against my will, especially my inward and carnal cogitations, with which all my countrymen as well as myself were delighted. But now all those things are my grief, and might I but choose mine own things, I would choose never to think of those things more, but when I would be doing that which is best, that which is worst is with me. Prudence. Do you not find sometimes as if those things are vanquished, which at other times are your perplexity? Christian. Yes, but that is but seldom. but they are to me golden hours in which such things happen to me. Prudence. Can you remember by what means you find your annoyances at times as if they were vanquished? Christian. Yes, when I think what I saw at the cross, that will do it, and when I look upon my broidered coat, that will do it, and when I look into the roll that I carry in my bosom, that will do it, and when my thoughts wax warm about whither I am going, that will do it. Prudence. And what is it that makes you so desirous to go to Mount Zion? Christian. Why, there I hope to see him alive that did hang dead on that cross, and there I hope to be rid of all those things that to this day are in me an annoyance to me. There they say there is no death, and there I shall dwell with such company as I like best. For, to tell you the truth, I love him because I was by him eased of my burden, and I am weary of my inward sickness. I would fain be where I shall die no more, and with the company that shall continually cry, Holy, holy, holy. Then said Charity to Christian, Have you a family? Are you a married man? Christian. I have a wife and 4 small children. Charity. And why did you not bring them along with you? Christian. Then Christian wept and said, Oh, how willingly I should have done it, but they were all of them utterly adverse to me going on pilgrimage. Charity. But you should have talked to them, and have endeavored to show them the danger of staying behind. Christian. So I did, and I told them also what God had shown to me of the destruction of our city, but I seemed to them as one that mocked, and they believed me not. Charity. And did you pray to God that he would bless your counsel to them? Christian. Yes, and that with much affection, for you must think that my wife and poor children were very dear to me. Charity. But did you tell them of your own sorrow and fear of destruction? For I suppose that destruction was visible enough to you. Christian. Yes, over and over and over. They might also see my fears in my countenance, in my tears, and also in my trembling under the apprehension of the judgment that did hang over our heads. But all was not sufficient to prevail with them to come with me. Charity. But what could they say for themselves why they came not? Christian. Why, my wife was afraid of losing this world, and my children were giving to the foolish delights of youth, so that what by one thing and what by another, they left me to wander in this manner alone. Charity. But did you not, with your vain life, damp all that you, by words used by way of persuasion, to bring them away with you? Christian. Indeed, I cannot commend my life, for I am conscious to myself of many failings therein. I know also that a man by his conversation may soon overthrow what by argument or persuasion he doth labour to fasten upon others for their good. Yet this I can say, I was very wary of giving them occasion by any unseemly action to make them averse to going on pilgrimage. Yea, for this very thing they would tell me I was too precise, and that I denied myself of things, for their sakes, in which they saw no evil. Nay, I think I may say that if what they saw in me did hinder them, it was my great tenderness in sinning against God, or of doing any wrong to my neighbor. Charity. Indeed, Cain hated his brother because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteousness. And if thy wife and children have been offended with thee for this, they thereby show themselves to be implacable to good. Thou hast delivered thy soul from their blood. And that is the end of chapter 15. Chapter 16 is called Peace in the Palace, and it starts with the word now. And now is a great time to bid you... No, not blow up the world like JJ suggested, but to bid you...
Adieu.
bid you adieu, and we will see you again next time, hopefully tomorrow. And God bless you, and have a good night. Thank you. Bye.